Hi, I'm Katy Thoma, President and CEO of the Chico Chamber. And today I am here with Tyler Smith, who is the CEO and partner of Matson Isom Technology. And in a conversation that I had with Tyler, we talked about working from home, some of the challenges that it's brought to businesses and to employees, and what are some of the things that employers can do, especially now that some employees are going back to work and some are staying home. So Tyler, thanks for coming today. And I guess the first question I want to talk to you about is, what are some of the challenges facing businesses working remotely?
Yeah, thank you. We've seen just a lot of our clients and partners kind of have this, initial rush to purchase laptops to get everybody set up. Back in March when most of this happened and most businesses made this transition, it was just kind of a mad scramble in most cases, just to get things going as quickly as possible. And in a lot of cases too, people were moving to home networks that were never really intended to host Zoom meetings that themselves were on, their spouse, their kids, doing remote learning. And, so we did a lot of support early on, just to try to overcome the challenges of the logistics, right? Getting people the ability to work remotely. And after a little while, probably a week to 2 weeks of that initial transition, the conversation kind of shifted from, the could they work from home to how should they work from home. And so the challenges that we tried to help with and overcome, and a lot of our clients brought up was, well, how should we start to do this? And so we started to give them some access to tools that would make it a little bit easier for them to communicate in real time and call and work with their coworkers and their partners. But yeah, a lot of those early challenges were just logistical, right? Just trying to get it working at all in the first place.
Yeah, we actually at the chamber office, because we obviously went home and went to work, and we too had some of those challenges, and just trying to figure out how to work Zoom,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how do we get a subscription to Zoom, and
Yeah.
and
Adopting new tools, right,
yeah.
that have never been used before,
Oh,
or used really limited, maybe one off here or there, and all of a sudden your whole business is running off of a tool that most of your team has never used before. So a
yeah.
lot of them were just shoved into that immediate term learning mode that they had to really overcome some of those early challenges.
And then the other challenge is too is hardware, of course. So
Hmm.
not everybody has a laptop.
Right.
And so, do you use personal,
Right.
equipment for business use? So did you run into some of those challenges as well?
Absolutely. We're, as a business, we're fortunate that based on what we do, we're kind of already optimized for a lot of remote work. Most of our employees already had laptops. So we were able to just quickly shift to a remote work environment. But a lot of our clients, have physical workstations, big monitors on desks at an office. And so we did, some large laptop orders for clients. Unfortunately, following the early part of the pandemic, there were already some supply chain issues for laptops, and so people weren't able to get them, or they were back ordered. So we had to we got creative in some cases and repurposed some old laptops and set them up, and basically tried to get people going as quickly as we could.
So as we head back to work, some of us, as we know that the state guidance says, if you can work from home, please work from home.
Right.
But if you have to come back to the office, okay, then you need to practice social distancing. And we know that there's guidance that is many pages long to open up the office. But in the case of some businesses, there are those that do want to go back. Extroverts like myself just feed off the energy of other people. But there are some companies that they've actually split their teams. So tell me about the challenges that you're seeing with splitting the at home and the office workers.
Absolutely. So we've seen this ourselves. So we've begun to move some of our staff back into the office, and we've seen our clients as well. And I think this is going to be a bigger challenge than a lot of people give it credit for. The initial move to remote work was, in a lot of cases, like a light switch, right? Everybody just moved right away. Yesterday we were in the office, today we're all at home, or maybe over the course of a day or two. but everyone was kind of on equal footing. So everyone was under the assumption that, okay, I need to really be proactive and communicate with people because I can't see them face to face anymore. So I need to really try to stay in front of other people that I work with. Now that we're kind of moving back, I think, into this hybrid or this split work mode, I think the challenge is going to be in that maintaining that ongoing proactive communication among team members and making sure that people are being as forgiving of other people's schedules and availability as possible, and then just using tools that facilitate real collaboration and communication, because the phone is great. It's what's been around for a long time, but as we move kind of a little bit less on email and more on tools like Microsoft Teams and Slack and real-time communication, I think the big challenge is just to be proactive and to be intentional about communicating and collaborating with people, regardless of whether they're in the cube more than 6 feet away from you, or on the other side of town or wherever. So I think just the proactive communication side of it is really what we all have to lean into to make sure that we don't lose track of the people that are continuing to work remote.
So one of the first things that advice that I received is checking in with the teams, because we would check in every morning at 9 o'clock and set our day, and then we'd end the day at about 4:30 with a check-in, see how the day went,
Right.
what maybe the next day going to look like. But we always started out going around the horn, like, how are you doing?
Right.
How are you handling this? Because it was challenging being at home for some, and so that was very telling for me as a manager and as a leader. I've been a manager for a long time, and having never experienced anything like this in leadership, really checking in, making sure everybody's emotional health is okay, and if it's not okay, you have to extend all kinds of grace to people. And as you mentioned, people homeschooling, obnoxious animals coming through. My favorite was on a Zoom call, and I'm just going to totally out her, is Amy Velasquez from the Alliance for Workforce Development. Her doorbell rang. She had to get up and leave the meeting, and her dog jumped up on the dining room.
Checked in on the call, huh? Oh, that's awesome.
So
that's a great example.
Yeah, I mean, and she was just mortified, but that is the reality of working from home. So I think it will continue to be a challenge. I think is for leaders and managers to keep their team all moving in the same direction. If you're in the office, you got to make sure that you communicate with those that are working remotely.
Right.
The other thing too with Zoom is you really miss the subtleties of body language and just those nuances. So I think that's people. I think that's why Zoom's so exhausting. One of the reasons. So going forward, what do you see are some good tips for employers?
One of the major things that we've been focusing in on and trying to add value to our clients and partners is training. So we're all in this mode of some of our clients who are in those essential industries are busier than ever, right? They never even slow down, and they feel like they're behind the 8 ball to be as productive as they can. And on the flip side, for those clients that are kind of slowing down or looking maybe at a lull, it's an opportunity to invest in some training, I think. And there are more resources now than there ever have been online, both from the big players, companies like Microsoft and Apple and Google are all putting a ton of really high quality content online for free. We've done a new training initiative for our clients and partners that we opened up called ClearIT Academy. And it's an opportunity basically to, in little 1-hour chunks, learn about things like Microsoft Excel and Word and Teams, just to develop some skills so people could be more productive with the tools they already have. Since we're all in this situation of, if you're busier now than ever, you need more and better skills. If you're in a lull, you might as well use some of this time to brush up on some of those skills. And I think that one of the best things we can do is just focus in on our people, our staff, and not lose track of some of the core benefits of just training and getting people some more skills so they could be more productive.
So do you have a library of these webinars? I know we've seen some of them. That's what actually prompted us to even do this interview today is that we saw some
Right.
announcements of webinars that were coming up. So, so those are open. You don't have, they're free.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and that's, you know, our whole goal of the chamber has been is to get information out, not only to our members, but the entire business community, to give them some tools to successfully maneuver through this time. So when we push this video out, we'll be sure and put a link to your website.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a library that they can access
Yes. So we've done both live webinars, and then all of those we've also recorded. So if you go to mitcs.com/academy, all of them are listed there. We've got about 6 or 7, I think, recorded already, and are available on demand. And then we've got another 5 or 6 scheduled coming up this month and in July that we are continuing to provide for free to our existing clients, as well as to any partners in the community that could benefit from them. And just really hoping that people find some value and again, use this time to brush up on some core skills and be more productive.
Exactly. These are unprecedented times. As I know it seems so overused, but it is true. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. And
Thank you.
we look forward to some more of those webinars. They're fantastic. We've had a chance to look at some of them, and very helpful for a small business owner. So take care, and we'll talk soon, and stay safe.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day.